evening. I hope you've had a lovely Christmas. This is your Notts TV News. I'm Christian Hewgill. First tonight, travellers are being warned of continued disruption on Nottinghamshire's roads following the first heavy snowfall of the winter. The snow fell last night earlier than expected, and these are just some of the pictures you've been sending in to us here at Notts TV News. While some have been out enjoying the weather, it has caused a few problems. Some smaller roads have become impassable with widespread ice, and there's been disruption throughout the day on Nottingham City Transport buses. More than 150 fallen trees were reported across Nottinghamshire. There's a yellow weather warning in place for ice across the county. I'll have full details later in the show. And the weather has also meant nearly 300 homes have been without power today. One supplier, Western Power, says its staff have been working throughout the day and night to get things back to normal as quickly as possible. Next, 48 workers in Nottingham discovered they were facing redundancy on Christmas Day. Parcel delivery company CityLink made the announcement that it had gone into administration on Thursday and has been criticised for the timing of the announcement. The company has a small depot in Nottingham at the Phoenix Centre on Millennium Way West. Across the country, more than 3,000 people are set to lose their jobs. It was a busy Christmas day for Nottinghamshire's ambulance service as it received hundreds more calls than at the same time last year. EMAS took more than 2,500 calls, 400 more than last Christmas. Bosses say over a third of calls were classed as life-threatening, with people complaining of chest pains, breathing difficulties and suffering from cardiac arrests. Now let's take a look at what's been hitting the headlines across Nottinghamshire this week. Shortly you'll see the businesses which have been festive fundraising for a very worthy cause, and hear from the Sneinton man who's spoken of his heartache after losing his teenage nephew in the Peshawar school attack in Pakistan. But first, earlier this week, the bodies of 5 horses were found dumped by the side of a Nottinghamshire road. The discovery was made by a member of the public on Tuesday morning on Rempston Road near East Leek. I should warn you that some viewers may find the pictures in this report upsetting. The RSPCA has called it a shocking discovery. 5 dead horses dumped on this patch of land off Rempston Road. Yesterday morning, a passerby phoned the police after finding the animals. Now, an investigation's underway. Well, this area is quiet and fairly out the way. It's just off a small country road. And Nottinghamshire Police have said they were called here yesterday, just before 9 AM, and that the RSPCA has been alerted and can prosecute if it sees fit. The charity's urging anyone who has any information about what happened to get in touch. One man who was driving down the road yesterday saw the animals and thought something was wrong.
Well, I was coming back, sort of early afternoon time, and I was driving, and I was aware of an image which appeared to be a cow or something like that with a sheet over it. Well, I suppose it's a much-used word, but shock. I mean, it's a road that's, well, it is frequently used by people getting onto the main road, but certainly in terms of walkers or people like that, no, very seldom do you see anybody apart from the farmer.
The RSPCA Chief Inspector Cathy Hyde said that over the last 5 years there's been a marked and very worrying increase in equine neglect and abuse, while Christmas Eve shoppers in East Leek have expressed their shock.
Well, very disappointed to hear it, obviously. One can only hope that the perpetrators are caught. It sounds fairly horrific. It's a very irresponsible thing to do, particularly this time of year. It's like to spread disease. It's like to be deeply unpleasant for whoever's land has been dumped on as well, obviously. But, just hope whoever it is gets caught.
Obviously, my initial reaction would be I'd want to know about the circumstances, how it's happened. Like I said, it seems like there's more adverts these days going out on TV about neglect for animals. So, it's just awful. You can't get your head round it, really.
An appeal line's been set up to help find out what happened to the horses. If you have any information, call 0300 123 8018. Christian Hewgill, Notts TV News.
Standing shoulder to shoulder, the Pakistani community and many others united to pay their respects to the 132 children killed by the Taliban at a military school in Peshawar. One of the children who left home for lessons and never came back was Hassan Zeb. His uncle Sajed Hussain from Sneinton told me how his brother found out how the 16-year-old was among the dead.
His wife called him that there is an incident in the school, so go and check him up. So he straight away went to the school, but in school everybody was running and there was no clue. And then his wife saw him on the television, and she said that it was Hassan who was put on the stretcher, but he was not moving. So then she called him again and told him that go to the hospital. So when they reached hospital, they found the dead body.
It's just 2 months since Sajjad last saw Hassan on a visit to Peshawar. Hassan's younger brother, who is 12, was in the school but managed to escape. The death has affected the whole family.
They are thinking about their other children, that what is going to happen to them. Especially the younger one who was with him in the school. And he just sticks to the knees of his mother. He doesn't speak, he doesn't eat, he doesn't drink, he doesn't sleep.
Last night's vigil was organised by Nottingham's Pakistan Forum and hundreds turned out. Even though the massacre was one of the most brutal in recent times, some of the forum's members believe there's still hope for peace in the troubled region.
I think after this event I'm extremely hopeful because it has united the Pakistani nation together. It has binded them in this tragic event. It has touched the raw nerve. The message from the public and the citizens of Pakistan is very clear. We've had enough and we want something done about it. So I think for the first time, because people have spoken out and put the pressure on, I think there is a hope after this tragic event, because nobody wants a repeat of such an event.
There is a hope, and they say that there is a way if there is a will. So we need a very strong will, a very, very strong will, and if it is there, yes, we will get somewhere.
Sajjad and the rest of the community are still coming to terms with what happened. He told me he'll remember Hassan as a happy child and loving nephew.
A very sweet boy. A very sweet boy.
Sharon Walia, Notts TV News.
Decking the halls of St Mary's Church. More than a dozen charities and businesses bring out the baubles and take out the tinsel to decorate Christmas trees in their own unique way. It's the Christmas Tree Festival, which hopes to raise £10,000 for homeless charity Emmanuel House. Pam Gardner is decorating hers on behalf of Rotherham Dowson solicitors.
It's just important, I think, that certainly at this time of the year, that we support each other. And I think wherever help is needed, if we can give it, then that's what we're here for. And if it just takes something as simple and as fun as decorating a tree that will make money, then I think it's a lovely way of doing it.
Now, there's no rule book when it comes to decorating a Christmas tree. And if you haven't put yours up yet and are wondering what it'll look like this year, here are some tips from today's pros.
Do you know, I don't think a Christmas tree should look like anything. I think they're all different, they're all unique, and that's the beauty, I think, of Christmas trees. I think sameness is boring, so I think that unique decoration that all these trees will hold will be fantastic.
I tend to be a bit old school and start with the lights and the baubles and then the tinsel, and mine do look very samey, but I love trees where children have been involved because it's all very haphazard and they just stick anything on how they want, and I think they look really nice.
But for hundreds in the city, decorating a Christmas tree is the least of their concerns. They'll settle for a warm, dry place and shelter over their heads. Reverend Christopher Harrison is the vicar at the church. He says the festival is a light and festive way of highlighting a very serious problem in the city.
In my experience here in Nottingham, the number of people sleeping rough or homeless is going up all the time. We see them, the needs are enormous. Emmanuel House is a church-sponsored charity that does wonderful work to help such people. It's not an easy task at all, but we want to do our bit to help them.
And for Christopher, the reality regularly stares him in the face, as one man is currently living in a tent within the church grounds.
It's a sad reflection of the reality of life this Christmas time for a number of people. This is a churchyard. We can't turn this gentleman away. We do wish him all the best in terms of finding someone more secure, but sadly this is all he's got at the moment.
Back inside, the trees will stay in the church right up until Christmas Day, but it's hoped the message they convey will continue to grow for years to come. Ian Chambers for Notts TV News.
Sport then, and after a busy round of Boxing Day fixtures, Nottingham Forest have slipped to 10th, 7 points outside the playoff places, following their defeat to Middlesbrough. Forest went down 3-0 with Kelvin Wilson seeing red for 2 bookable offences. There was similar disappointment for Notts County, who lost 1-0 to MK Dons at Meadow Lane. Slightly better news for the Stags though. They managed a 1-1 draw with Hartlepool in a bad-tempered affair. The two sides shared 3 sendings off and a huge 8 bookings.
T&S Heating, keeping you warm, whatever the weather.
The all-important forecast then. No more snow expected this evening. It should be a generally dry with just a few isolated wintry showers, but a widespread frost is expected to form under patchy low clouds. Lows are freezing overnight, and that means we have a yellow weather warning in place for ice. Widespread icy patches are expected to form, and obviously that could mean very slippy conditions, what with the snow that's already fallen. So take extra care tomorrow morning when it could be even colder. A bright and fairly clear day expected, although there will be some light cloud cover, but wrap up warm, lows of -2. Monday is looking very similar to tomorrow, but clearer, which should mean we'll see even more sunshine, lows again of -2.
T&S Heating, keeping you warm, whatever the weather.
That's all for now from myself and the weekend team. I'll be back tomorrow, but until then, have a lovely evening. Stay safe if you're out there in the cold. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.